Perspective podcast. I'm your host, Victor Dwyer, and today we get the leading experts in the industry. Today we have Yoni on. He's been in this industry for a very long time with his company. Everyone's heard of him. If you know the refund manager, if you've ever been to any conference, you have all seen his sign somewhere in there. So yes, we're going to be talking about the state of selling on Amazon. Yanni's going to go into a little bit about who he is and what he does, and then we'll dive right into the conversation. Thank you so much for joining today.
My pleasure. Thank you, Victor, so much for having me. Hello, everybody. I hope everybody's feeling well and doing well. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about you, what you do, and everything else.
You got it. So a little bit about myself, and I guess on the professional level, on a personal, we can go. It's gonna be very short, actually. Nothing much, nothing much personality, but on the professional level, I'm the co-founder and chief growth officer of Getira. Getira, essentially, we're a technology company, and our mission is to help Amazon FBA sellers get the maximum FBA refunds that they're eligible to receive. So typically, we go back 18 months on all the data, and our technology catches all the issues that inventory that got lost, damaged, destroyed, disappeared, overcharged with fees. But then we have a team that opens and manages claims on behalf of the sellers. What's cool about Getira is that it's free to join and it's free to stay. It doesn't cost anything. We are a performance-based company, so only if we get you money back, only then we charge you a fee. So that's a little bit about Getira. But Getira was actually born. Actually, let me step back a little bit. So today, Getira, we're the largest organization in the world focused just on this niche. The niche is called Amazon FBA Auditing and Reimbursements. We audit billions of dollars worth of transactions every day across, our network base and our
Hmm.
users.
Yeah.
Um, we have about 115 plus team members in 6 countries, so a lot of work basically. But Getiro was actually born from our activities as Amazon sellers back in the day. So about a decade ago, I started selling online. Back in the day, the main arena for us was eBay. And then in about 2013, we started selling on Amazon, and the business grew very, very quickly from 0 to 20 million in FBA sales.
Wow.
Then, yeah, so then we became a part of a larger group that together as a group we did about 100 million in FBA sales. And what happened was we had so much data to process in terms of auditing and refunds that pushed us to create technology and software to do it at bulk, right?
Hmm.
Because we have so much data.
Yeah.
But so in addition to the software, also create a dedicated team to manage all the data and manage all the back and forth with Amazon until there's a resolution. So effectively, we built a solution for ourselves. But then we're kind of friendly. We told our friends from the industry we have these capabilities, so they told us, "Help us, we'll pay you." And that was the early genesis and creation of Agatita and its users back in 2015 and 16. Over the years, it was growing organically from word of mouth because the model was so convenient because it's purely performance based. So what we just cashed out our retail. We focus all of our focus, attention, creativity, energy, motivation, in helping other sellers. And really, from that point on, we kind of took leadership in this little niche of Amazon FBA auditing and reimbursements. So that's a little bit about Gatira, about myself on the professional level, personal level. Like I said, nothing to add.
It's all work. It's just like 14 hours of work, and then you go to sleep, and then like personal life doesn't exist.
No, it does. It does. I live in New Jersey. I'm married, plus three. I'm very grateful and joyful for having a family like that. Yeah, but
That's
this
great.
is more of a professional podcast, so we'll focus on the business side of things.
Oh, that's great. So starting off, like why so I think we know about why Amazon sellers should be on, or like the people that are on Shopify need to be on Amazon. So we know that the Amazon sellers need to be on Amazon. What do you see on, oh, there we go. One sec, let me bring you back on. One sec. It's like it's what's that? It's like
No worries.
I don't know why you're small like that.
Don't worry.
But there we
I
go.
think you look good on LinkedIn though. Don't worry.
Yeah, hey, I think like you either me being big or you being big, whatever works.
All right. All right.
But
Good.
yeah, so yeah, like going into it with the refunds, what do you see as the biggest drawback, or either the biggest opportunity? Like why would someone be using you to use the refunds? Like, is it usually like a crazy amount? Like if you get $100,000 in sales per month, is how much of those is Amazon really messing up? That's kind of what I wanted to ask.
Yeah, so essentially what we're asking is what is the scope of this issue, or what's the opportunity for the sellers, the Amazon FBA seller? I just want to step back a little bit because you also mentioned Shopify.
Yeah.
So if you sell Shopify, that's one universe. Now we're talking about the universe of selling on Amazon,
Yep.
and within that universe, the universe of FBA, fulfillment by Amazon, when Amazon manages all your inventory, basically all the fulfillment side of things.
Mhm.
So essentially, statistically speaking, over 6 7 years of doing this, I can say that on an annual basis, we see that the discrepancy rate is between 1 to 3%.
Mhm.
So if you do 100,000 in revenue for the year, 1 to 3% could be $1,000 up to $3,000 in discrepancies. If you do
Mhm.
a million a year, 1 to 3% could be 10 to 30,000. If you do 100 million a year, it can be 1 to 3 million, and on it goes. Another way to look at it is for every 100 units that you ship to Amazon FBA, their fulfillment centers, between 1 to 3 units is going to experience an issue of discrepancy throughout the life cycle of the product in Amazon's fulfillment center. So that's kind
Mhm.
of the opportunity. So anybody listening to this, you know what your FBA numbers are. Just say, hey, what's 1 to 3% for my revenue? Looking back 18 months, that can be an opportunity for you to recover some funds that are owed to you based on these discrepancies. I want to step back a little bit further actually,
Mhm.
because over
Yeah.
the years we discovered that the world of Amazon sellers is split into 50-50. 50% of the Amazon sellers are not even aware that something's wrong and that they're owed money. Zero awareness. Like they're so focused on sourcing, launching, selling, marketing, branding, packaging as they should. That creates the business. They have no idea that they still have to kind of go back 18 months and audit all the transactions and take action and get reimbursements if they're eligible to get it. So
Mhm.
that's the first half of the seller. So if you're listening to this, you never heard of the fact that you're eligible to get refunds and reimbursements. Take action. That's money in the bag. Now, the other half of the Amazon sellers are aware of it. They do kind of something about it. They might have a team for it. Maybe they use another provider, but they don't really know how deep they can go and how much more they can recover. And that's when we come in and say, hey, if you even if you have a team or you have another provider and you like him, keep him. We're still able to come in and grab anything that was left behind and bring it back to your pocket. And only if we're successful doing that, only then we're gonna get rewarded. Because it's free to join Gatita, it's free to stay Gatita. We only charge a fee based on recovery, based on performance. So the other half, once again, they need to realize the opportunity that there's more for them to recover. This is like oil drilling. If you're drilling for oil, right? Oil is very popular right now. It costs a lot of money. It's uh, it's over $4 a gallon here, at least in New Jersey. I'm not sure what it is in your area, but if you're drilling for oil and really there's oil up to 10,000 feet down, and you can suck out all the oil, but your drills are only going down like 1,000 feet down or 2,000 feet down. That's a shame because our drills can go all the way to 10,000 and get you the rest of the oil. So if you're getting only 20%, 30%, 40% of the oil that's available, we can get you the rest of it. And only if we get it to you, only then you're gonna pay us a fee. That is kind of the partnership opportunity that we put a lot of emphasis on offering out there. But as per your question, that is the opportunity. The opportunity could be 1 to 3%, and there's solution providers out there that can help you get the maximum. We happen to be one of them. So if ever need that help, we know we're gonna be happy to help you with that as well.
Is there a due date? Like, is there like a drawback saying like, hey, after 18 months you can't get that money back,
Correct,
or can
correct.
you, how far
Money's, but
back? How
yeah,
far can you go?
the eligibility is expired. So I'm gonna give you the brackets in a moment. But to make it simple, if you don't get everything that you owed on time with the time that is allowed, that is eligibility expires. You're never gonna see that money again. And that's what we encourage sellers to do everything that they can to get everything that they owed, because if they don't, they lose two things. The first thing you lose is your investment, the money that you invested in the inventory, your cost, right? You invested 100 grand in the inventory, you wanted to sell it, you're so excited. Guess what? Amazon lost this 100 grand worth of products, right? And if you don't take care of it, you lost that cost. But even more interesting is that you also lose your profit. And why? Because when it comes to reimbursements, Amazon is actually very nice and very generous. They pay you the retail value, they don't pay you the cost value. So if you plan to sell the 100 grand worth of cost of units for $500,000, they're gonna pay you $500,000. So you get your 100 grand back, and you make that $400,000 in profit because
Wow.
essentially they buy it off your hands. So our mission is actually effectively to shift a double negative to a double positive, where you get your money back and you make profit. Because if, like
Mhm.
I said, if you don't take it all the, if you don't get all the reimbursement on time, it expires and you lose these two things. Instead of that, make sure you do get everything that you owed, and boom, flip the scale and to make sure you get your money back and make some good profit. And that is kind of the Gatina magic, or the message that we carry. Now, in terms of brackets, there are a few brackets. Not all claims are created equal. I'm going to give you the rundown, the overview in a nutshell. For there's 18, 6, and 3. 18 months, 6 months, 3 months. Okay, let's start with the 3 months. 3 months, you have up to 3 months to get everything that you owed for fulfillment fees. If they overcharge you with fees, let's say this is your product. Every time you sold the unit, they suppose this phone cover, right? They're supposed to charge you $3 every time they fulfill unit, but instead they have incorrect data and they think this product is much bigger and heavier, so they might charge you $10 a unit every time you sold it. So they're overcharging you $7 every time you sold the unit, right? So let's say you sold 1,000 units, and each one you overcharge you $7. They owe you $7,000. You only get up to 90 days. After 90 days, expires forever, right? That's 3 months. That's for fulfillment fees or overcharges of fulfillment fees. First bracket done. Second bracket, 6 months is for your FBA shipments. Victor, you ship 1,000 units to Amazon's fulfillment center. Amazon, instead of receiving 1,000 units, they only really receive 190. You have 6 months to reconcile that. After 6 months, eligibility expires. It doesn't matter if they owe you for these 10 units, they're not going to pay you reimbursement. Okay, second bracket done. Third bracket is pretty much everything else. Everything else can be anything that's got lost. Because keep in mind, once your inventory is inside Amazon's fulfillment center, inside the centers, that's when your inventory can get lost and damaged and destroyed and disappeared. Right? All these four elements inside the centers, but also between them. Sometimes Amazon might shift your products from Kentucky to New Jersey or to Nevada. They shift it around so there's better spread for one day. For from Prime shipping, one day Prime shipping, right? So they spread out. These same elements happen. All of a sudden, your inventory gets lost, damaged, destroyed, or disappeared. And also between the fulfillment centers to the consumers, when all the orders come in, same things happen. Consumers back to Amazon with all the refunds and all the returns, unfortunately, and also from the fulfillment center back to you, the seller. So all these logistical friction points, you have about 18 months to reconcile all these four elements. So that's in a nutshell the world that I live in. That's all I know. Talk to me about sports, I know nothing. Talk to me about, I don't know, physics, I know nothing. But talk to me about this, I can talk all day. So I don't want to overstretch the stamina of the court, but this is what I got.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. That's really valuable to know the timeline of where it may be rather than thinking like, oh, like we have so much time to actually fulfill those things. And that's very valuable, especially the when you start getting into the $1 million sellers. Um, and when if they're not actually utilizing that would be a huge opportunity for them to really get back as much inventory as possible for all the things that Amazon does mess up. Because let's be honest, Amazon messes up a lot of different things. So that's kind of what you're capitalizing on and getting the sales there, which might be a huge opportunity for a lot of people.
Yep.
And so going to really like increasing the sales on Amazon, like do you when it comes down to it, when it comes to just inventory, do you ever see that like you said 1 to 3% is usually what Amazon messes up on. Do you ever see that being higher for certain categories or lower in certain categories? Is that across all Amazon products or all Amazon, or do you see it in different based off categories as well?
Yeah, it's actually a very good question. I just want to clarify on that. If this is blended, because some sellers might have a 7% discrepancy rate, and some of them might have like 0.5%. So aggregated or all in blended, the spectrum is 1 to 3%. That's one thing to put out of the way. The second thing is exactly what you said. Every account and every product is created differently. So, for example, if you're selling glass wine cups, they're more prone to get damaged, to crack and break, and boom, you have more damages, as opposed to a phone cover made out of plastic. It doesn't really get damaged, doesn't really break, so you have less issues of being damaged. So, based on the profile of the product, is one variable that is very clear to understand. Other variables can be your warehouse team, how it's packaging things, if they're really padded in a nice way or not, or is it being sloppy, is it taping properly. It can also be Amazon's fulfillment centers. Some fulfillment centers are more efficient and they handle things better than others. That's another variable. So across all these variables, that's kind of the mishmash of things that's happening. So we were able to find the spectrum to lay between 1 to 3%. But of course, if based on your profiles they're more prone to get damaged or they're really small and they can get lost, keep that in mind and try to create a setup for yourself where you minimize it as much as possible. And if you did that, all the rest is really on Amazon. And just be on the lookout. That's where you need a good auditing partner to make sure they're on the lookout. So once an issue did occur, there's handling of it, and you get a recovery, a financial recovery. So hopefully you can get that money back into your pocket and continue using it to grow your business. You can keep sourcing or invest more into PPC, whatever it is you need to do to keep pushing your business forward.
Yeah, that's great. And when it comes to effective strategies to increasing Amazon sales, what would you kind of say that? Because that's a really important topic to like getting that to the next level. What would you say to like really increasing Amazon sales there?
So how can reimbursements help you increase your sales, or in general, like how do what a few tips about how Amazon sales can increase sales? I can touch both.
Both. Yeah, let's
Both.
go let's go general, like broad, like how like what would be the best way that you would see to kind of increase sales on Amazon?
Got it. Okay, touch a few tracks. There's almost I don't want to say endless tracks, but there's many tracks how to basically influence your sales. I'm going to touch a few that I find to be very impactful as to where what I hear from our users. We have thousands of users worldwide, and I constantly meet them in shows and webinars and engagements. So of course, you're a private label seller. You have your own brand. You have brand registry. You got all the basic elements put into place. You have a nice product, good quality, good packaging, A+ content, enhanced brand content. Right. You have the videos there. You have the visuals there. You have infographics, great titles. Make sure all that is put into place, because if you don't, these are important elements. Okay. Make sure it's fully optimized for the Amazon search engine, because effectively Amazon, almost above all, almost it's a search engine. Consumers come in, oh, I need socks, this color and this size. Boom. If you have exactly those kind of socks, but it's not indexed properly, when they search for it, Amazon, these Amazon consumers will
Mhm.
never find you, because you might be page, not even any page. So you got to make sure everything is calibrated to the machine, at the very basic things of it. But then you get more and more sophisticated, because behind the scene there's a battle of ranking, right? You have BSR, best sales rank. So in order for you to thrive and increase your best sales rank, there's many elements that have influenced it, but the basics of all basics is indexing. Make sure all the keywords are set up properly, and based on these keywords, you have a good ranking, and you keep competing on them. And the way to compete it is a variation of bringing traffic in, good healthy traffic. It could be from Amazon PPC, it could be from outside sources, it could be from social media, it could be email in newsletters or email blasts that you do with your database or other databases that you pay to drive traffic. But hopefully that traffic converts,
Yeah.
right? And make sure that converts, you have a high conversion rate, because the algorithm at Amazon will start basically pushing you up the ranks for all these search words. Because if it sees that you're bringing in traffic from all these places, and especially the outside places, Amazon loves that. It gives you more juice, more ranking. It says,
Yeah.
"Oh, this is a great product, a great listing, a great agent." It's bringing traffic to Amazon, consumers into Amazon from all these directions, and all these consumers hitting the listing, right, are actually buying. They're not just reviewing and just logging off. That can actually hurt you. So if you're
Yeah.
bringing a lot of traffic that's not really converting, it actually hurts you, and you go down the rank, because Amazon is a one fine oiled machine of generating sales. How do you generate sales? Products. And how do these products generate sales? They communicate very well to their consumer base, and because of that, they communicate very well, and they appear to be a very good product. They consumers click and buy them. That's all. That's on the very basic elements and the fundamental of the Amazon algorithm, right? There's many more sophistication going on, but in its core, it's all the same. Products that are good, wholesome, good quality, competitive pricing, that look great, feel great, they are great, and they sell and they convert very well. So the more signals are like that you send to Amazon's algorithm, the more you're just gonna thrive with the ranks, and then you're gonna start compounding more and more sales, because you get higher ranks. More and more Amazon shoppers, find you, and you generate more sales, and then you get even a better conversion rate. Then it keeps
Mhm.
compounding on the way up. So the way
Yeah.
that it works with Amazon, there's no staying in place. It's either you're spiraling up or you're spiraling down. Okay,
Yeah.
it's like a ladder. Either you're climbing up or down. So keep that in mind. So keep on pushing on all these nozzles that keep pushing you up through that ladder. And it's a mix of everything. Like I said, the very basics of the wording, the copyright, and then the visuals, and the videos, and the back end keywords, and you got to rank for each one. And then the way to be better at those is throwing traffic in from all these directions. Make sure it's healthy traffic. That sounds very simple, but in the back end it's very complicated, because you got to target everyone very carefully, and you got to maybe remove negative keywords that you know that they don't convert well for you. Just you put those out. So it's a lot of data work, really. Honestly, it's honing it's data science. If you're not good at it, there's agencies out there, there's software companies that help you with that. To keep that in mind. But high level, these are the basic fundamentals that I can see in front of me, from all these directions, from Amazon sellers, that is basically driving sales up and creating real growth in a real business, and a real income for there's entrepreneurs, also mega companies.
Yeah, we just had a webinar before this, and she was saying like everyone in e-commerce, we're all data nerds, we're all Amazon junkies. Like at the end of the day, you have to be that math nerd and like to understand, interpret the data because there's so much of it. Amazon gives you it, and it's not very easily digestible. It's usually very horrible to digest all that information, but there's so much data you have to analyze in order to actually create effective strategies, and that makes it very, very difficult. But yes,
I agree. This is definitely
yeah.
the revenge of the nerds, as they say,
Yeah,
right?
revenge. Like 50 years ago or like 100 years ago, we would all be mathematicians, but now we're all in e-commerce.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. It's amazing what this industry does from for all these beautiful, talented, creative people, uh, mathematics people, data people. It's just amazing how they flourish in this domain. They sit back and anywhere in the world, they can really live anywhere. That's on a side note. Since
Mhm.
especially after the pandemic, people who were also they were maybe living in very expensive areas and having their lifestyle maybe very tight. They're on the budget, even though they have a good income because they live in a very expensive area. All of a sudden, they find themselves in the e-commerce industry. They can really go out and live anywhere and provide the same impact for their organization, or even if they're self-employed. And they go live in Greece or Thailand or even I don't know West Virginia somewhere in the boondocks in a farm where it's they own acres of land. It's all good, and they
Yeah.
don't have to really compete with the whole city life of all these costs or whatever. And
Mhm. Yeah.
it's a beautiful shining moment for the nerds or the ones that are able to really do their job diligently with a laptop and just focus on making an impact on the Amazon marketplace.
Yes, it is getting exceedingly difficult to make an impact on the my Amazon Marketplace
That's why you got
as
to get more nerdy. The nerdy you get, this is a game of learning.
it
If you really
is.
get good at learning and keep on adjusting to the shift, you
Mhm.
actually continue to find more and more success because you're starting to really get a gap between you and the rest of the players, and that's an advantage. So once again,
Yeah.
revenge of the nerds.
It's a yes, it's a game of learning and speed. The faster you change and make changes to Amazon, the more you can capitalize on doing what your competitors aren't doing and implementing it. It's a whole game of just speed. So yes, the faster the nerds are, the better we can do. The people that got picked on in high school, we are killing it now. Like it's just when you say Revenge of the Nerds, that's really what it is.
Yeah, I want to give an analogy because you're making my clock tick up there. It's so mentally speaking and also professionally speaking,
Mhm.
the game of nerds is like if I compare to being a sports an athlete like the cool guys in high school were or
Yeah,
college.
yeah.
Imagine this, cool people. Imagine you're playing a sports where the
Mhm.
goal line keeps on changing during the game. So you're trying to dribble, trying to get control. You're offensive, you're defensive, but the goal keeps on changing as you go along. So the faster you realize where the goal is, and you keep on shooting it to their places, you'll find a lot of success. Because if you think the goal is here, you keep shooting there, and then all of a sudden it change. You're irrelevant. You're never gonna score a goal, no matter how much you try. So this analogy of how kind of how this game works on a mental and professional level.
You have to be so dynamic. Like you can never be used to like one stable thing. It's changing so fast that you have to constantly be testing, and the people that aren't testing are the ones that are going to fall. And that's why it's such a big opportunity for these smaller businesses because the big behemoths of businesses, they're not able to change very fast. Like the corporate America, the Fortune 500s, they're moving like turtle speed. Like they're just figuring out Facebook's a good like social media marketing's a thing. Like they're just realizing that like what like 7 years ago when everyone else realized it. So like the fact that they move that slow, they're going to see the downfall of these huge, massive billion-dollar companies. But that's where the small ones that can move really fast and dynamic, they're able to really thrive because they're able to do TikTok influencer marketing, TikTok advertising, and all these other things that are revolutionary, and they're able to capitalize on all the changes by moving and being extremely dynamic and extremely fast. That's the game. That is how you succeed on Amazon, is the speed and learning of everything going on. That's how you win.
They win for sure.
Yes. So with that in mind, when how often do you see people trying to get their reimbursements? So is it every when people like go to you, is it like a monthly thing? Is it a quarterly thing? Is it every 3 months? Like what do you see is like the average thing saying, hey Yanni, I need to get another stage of reimbursement. Is it yeah, I'd love to hear that.
Yeah, so I'm gonna reverse this and I'm gonna answer this in a different way.
Mhm.
We audit all of our users and all of our clients daily.
Oh
That's the
wow.
power of the technology that we build. So, so Imagine that for every unit that gets sent into the Amazon fulfillment center, we created a technology which acts like a bodyguard or like a shadow. It follows the inventory unit everywhere it goes. And all of a sudden, something happened to this inventory unit. It doesn't have a good explanation. That's when our team will come in, step in, try to clarify that with Amazon. And of course, if the unit got found, it's all good. It's all good. But if it didn't and it's eligible to get a reimbursement, that's when it gets recovered financially for the seller. That's the technology that we built. Now, that in mind, this is all we do. Like I said, this is all of our focus. We don't really do anything else. Sellers across the board that I said, like half of the sellers are not doing anything, so they're doing zero. The other half that is doing something, it's really scattered. They kind of say, yeah, we do it, but we do it once in a while. Once in a while can be once a year,
Yeah.
can be once every 15 months, or 6 months. I haven't really met the ones that are really meticulous, do it every day. Nobody does it every day. Honestly, we do it every day because that's our fiduciary duty, right? That's our core competency. The fastest I've seen was like really once a week. I've saw very little of those. Once a month, I see a few more of those. Once every 3 months, a bit more. I would say the domain lives at once every 6 months, maybe once a year. That's maybe the most of the center of gravity is for the ones who actually do something. Um, but the rest of the 50% completely do zero. So that's kind of
Yeah.
as far as I can see from my goggles.
Yes, yeah, and I know very little people that actually do it, and that don't want to also worry about it, and they see a lot of like the management side, but that's where it could be really valuable to have someone like the Geddes of the world, the refund managers of the world, to really help take that on. Rather than like dealing with the Amazon support tickets and all the other things to follow up with Amazon, because let's be honest, we all hate Amazon when it comes to actually managing and communicating with them. It sucks, and so that's where it can be really valuable, rather than dealing with Amazon as either the store owner or the managers and things like that.
Yeah, I want to kind of attach into what you said. Really the mission of the sellers is really to keep on looking forward, facing forward. You want to source, you want to brand, you want to market, you want to sell, that creates the business. That is rightfully so. That's where your focus should be at. Nobody really likes to look backwards.
Yeah.
Oh, what did I do in the past 18 months, and check this point and that data point, and that's just finding the problems. Well, once you find it, then like what you said, you have to open cases with Amazon and present it to them and manage all the back and forth and start explaining yourself. And that is very taxing. It's very time consuming.
It
Where at the
is.
same time you say, you know what, let me not do that. Let me keep on sourcing, launching, selling, advertising, sell. So sellers can't really find that equilibrium balance of getting it right. That's why, as far as we're concerned, you keep on marching forward. As far as we're concerned, we always look backwards. We got your back. We're the archaeologists. We always come with our toothbrushes. We brush the sand nice and easy, brush all the dust. And once we find that golden nugget for you, all right, we bring it back to your pocket. And only if we're successful doing it, only then we get rewarded. That is kind of the partnership structure that we have, which we find to be very, very effective. You look forward, we got your back. We can look backwards, and boom, it creates a better, I guess, position for you to win on the marketplace for the long term.
Is there anything that you think that is valuable that you see either Amazon sellers doing and you're like, wow, Victor, they need to be doing A, B, and C? Like from Amazon as a holistic level, saying like, wow, Amazon sellers need to be doing this, but they are doing this. Is there anything that you're seeing out there that Amazon sellers need to be doing more of that you would recommend?
Yeah, I mean, I can touch a lot into that. It's a very loaded question, or you give me a loaded gun, I can shoot it in a few directions. I was just trying to find a few for you. But what happens is, of course, we help our sellers and our users with our core competency with reimbursements. But for the most part, because our experience as sellers, we experienced the growth phase from 100 grand to 1 million, 1 million to 10 million, and so forth. So we've been through these milestones. So a lot of them kind of come to us, and we're very happy to share from our experiences, but also current experiences that we're absorbing from others, and it creates this beautiful community and networking and helping approach.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, what they're not utilizing can potentially be outside sources, and not utilizing enough. Maybe over relying just on Amazon PPC. In other words, paying Amazon for the traffic, and not really considering and utilizing other channels. The immediate suspects, like you mentioned, is social media. It could be Facebook, but TikTok is really picking up. But just to be fair and honest, it really depends on your product. Really, honestly, the key for success, as far as I'm concerned, really know your target audience, create this avatar, know where to find them on the digital space, if it's in publications or magazines or social media groups or Telegram groups or WhatsApp groups. um, just really try to be like a hunter. Where are they all living, right, in the digital space? And once you find them with all these pockets, try to reach out to them, and elegantly. If they're in a community and this community is very strict about like solicitation and you advertising yourself, what do? Just come in and drop value as much as you can. They have,
Yeah.
let's say you're a baby product and they have all these mommies asking, oh, my baby's like this, my baby's like that, and you got all these tips. Just help as much as you can.
Hmm.
By the way, I'm not talking only to the guys listening to this. It could be also the ladies listening to this that sell on Amazon. Take the initiative. Go to all these mommy groups. Just be very valuable. Help and give tips. If they're gonna ask you, hey, who are you? What do you do? How do you do it? Like, oh, I happen to be, this is my job. It's my living. I sell. I have a baby product brand, and I sell. All of a sudden, the community will simply connect with you because you provide already so much value. They're gonna start taking interest in you, anyways. And all of a sudden, they say, hey, you got these products. They go, oh, you can buy it on Amazon. They start buying it. Oh, they love it. He loves it. She loves it. Boom. That is
Hmm.
authentic. That is something from the it's grassroots. It comes from the bottom up. And if you're successful with it, nobody can really take it away from you because you bonded with your end target audience. You have a real engagement with them. Um,
Hmm.
Once again, if you're able to bring them from outside into Amazon, Amazon loves that. It really helps you with the rank juice. So there's many, like I said, this gun is loaded. I can take it to many directions, but really outside sources, try to have a real connection with your end target and audience. Once you have those connections with them and engagement with them, driving into your Amazon listings. But of course, e-commerce. You mentioned Shopify earlier. Wherever you can, all these outlets that you have to sell your brands. This is really all the game that we're playing here. The game of I have something to sell as a retailer. My fiduciary duty is to make sure that I have enough outlets out there to for my target audience to buy it and consume it and use it and be happy with it and repeat it, do it all over again.
Yeah, that's great, and that's extremely valuable. Um, and is there anything? Yes, so you touched on a lot of things there. Is there any more things that you see that as a yeah, you would recommend Amazon sellers to do, besides anything else that you mentioned right there that you think would be valuable
I'll give one
on
more. I'll
the
give
whole
you one
aspect?
more. I'll
Yeah.
give you one more.
Okay.
One thing you can also consider is if you're really good at knowing where your customers potentially live. Actually, not even customers. If you can regions. Maybe you're selling winter gear, so you go all the places in North America where it's very cold, it tends to snow. Maybe you're selling fur jackets, leather jackets, just winter gloves, whatever it is. So what you
Hmm.
can do is you can go and online and send mailers. How you
Okay.
get the Bed Bath and Beyond, the 20%, the blue one. It's
Yeah.
kind of iconic.
Yeah.
Send them that. Just say, hey, I got these winter gloves. We got all this styles for you. Here's a 10% coupon, whatever. Just visit Amazon.com/, whatever it is, the ASIN is, right? Or create you can just create a landing page, your domain.com/Amazon, and boom, or take them directly to the Amazon listing, and boom, you got more traffic to your listing. Hopefully that will convert. So old school into the new school. From the physical, you can do some. There's websites out there. You just log in and they do all the work for you. You create the design and boom, they mail it all out to any area, town, zip code, state that you want that you can target, and boom, you create more engagement. So that's another tip out there.
Cool. That's great. So, Yana, I bet we can go into this for 16 more hours of everything that's going on. Unfortunately, that's all we have time for today. So, Yanni, please tell us where to find you, where to find more about the business and everything else. Love to hear it. Oh, Yanni, you're muted. Yanni, you're muted.
Yeah, yeah, no worries. So
Mhm.
you guys hear me now?
Yeah, yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, so I'm very active on social media, so you can find me on Facebook and LinkedIn. Just put my name, Yoni Mazor. You can also visit us at Gatita.com. But I'm thinking maybe I'll give a $400 offer for your audience, for anybody listening to this. Just go visit Gatita.com/Victor, Victor, and it will give you $400 in free reimbursements just so you can try us out. So this is a guarantee. You have $400 more in your pocket. After $400, if you want to leave us, you can leave. If you want to stay, you can stay. It's fine by us. We're just here to help and make sure that we bring some value to you. And that's it. Feel free to reach out to connect. Happy to engage in any moment.
Thank you so much. That's very generous. I have my own name. I have my own like thing URL string, so that I'm proud.
Congratulations.
Thanks. So thank you everyone for listening. Thank you, Yanni, so much for coming on. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you everyone.